This guy thinks that he's never going to die.
Millionaire entrepreneur
Bryan Johnson.
Bryan Johnson.
Bryan Johnson.
He's the man behind the Blueprint Protocol.
He's the guy who's going to live forever. He's going to outlive all of us.
He's spent his life and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars to prove to all of us that it's possible, A, not to die, but also to show us how not to die.
Imagine if you had a personalized algorithm that would take better care of you than you can yourself, giving you perfect physical and mental health. The trade-off is you eat when the algorithm tells you to eat, you go to bed when the algorithm tells you, you're following the algorithm.
Those are all the pills you take in one day.
Would you opt into it?
And he's built a house in Los Angeles which is specifically designed to make sure that he never, ever dies. At the end of this episode today, you should at least know how to extend your life using some of the tips, tricks, and equipment that he's built into the house you're about to see.
Basically, you could watch the entire movie Titanic, and I would be erect the entire time.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
The probability suggests that me and you are both going to die.
No, the probabilities do not suggest that. This is the emergency, I need to turn it off button.
If I'm perfectly safe, why is there an emergency button?
Just in case. It was such a brutal time. I was constantly broke.
I really wish that I could have done something.
On auto repeat in my mind was I should end my life.
Okay. So, we are at Bryan Johnson's house.
In my home.
Yes, it's
Wonderful. And the layout of it is incredible.
Thank you for letting us into your home. I'm very excited to understand and to learn more than anything.
I heard you got a Cybertruck.
Have you tried it?
Yes.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Great fun.
What could you drive?
I have an Audi.
Okay, but you drive it?
Yes.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, but before I get into a car, so I get in the car, I can't drive until I repeat the mantra, driving is the most dangerous thing I do. And then once I say that, then I can drive.
Okay.
Because otherwise you get in the car and like the phone's there and you hear a little ding, you're like, who's that? And you got one hand on the wheel and then you're like, it's so
Driving
easy.
is the most dangerous thing that I can do.
I guess the most important question to start with is, who is Bryan Johnson?
And I have the honor of introducing our next speaker, Bryan Johnson.
Today I want to share the journey I've been through over the past 5 years. And in doing so, I'm going to present a lot of information and a lot of concepts that may be foreign to you. Yeah, I was born into the Mormon religion. They tell a very compelling story. If you basically follow these rules, you get this amazing afterlife. You just had all the answers. And so in many ways, my upbringing did the opposite of invite curiosity from me. It was invited obedience to what I was told.
So, who were the Mormons? In the 1800s, the US was undergoing some massive social and cultural shifts. Steam engines and railroads,
Revolution in the New World,
invention and adoption of the telegraph,
new science, magical technology, new ideas.
At this point in history, people believed religion was dying out.
And so what happens is that the super charismatic religious preachers begin taking to the streets, preaching the word of God.
For a lot of people, this was a sign that the end of the world was coming.
And that Jesus would come to save them.
To usher in this 1,000 years of glory for those who believed in him, and 1,000 years of fire for those who didn't.
As you can imagine how that might feel, it's warm and fuzzy. It's like being in a cocoon. And then if you're outside of that and you don't have that kind of foundation, you have to figure out everything on your own. Where this started was when I came back from Ecuador. I served a 2-year mission for the Mormon Church in Ecuador and lived among extreme poverty for 2 years. And I came back to the United States. I was so jarred by the shift from poverty to opulence that I decided I didn't want to do what most people do in the US, which is get a job, make a whole bunch of money, and then go off into retirement. I wanted to do something meaningful for the human race. I knew that you need money to do that. It's very hard to do that when you need other people's permission. And so the goal at 21 was to make a whole bunch of money. It was pretty simple. I started several companies. It was such a brutal time. I was constantly broke, always stressed out of my mind. I had 3 little babies. So I was broke and had babies and trying to build startups and going to school all at the same time.
Braintree launching today with the hopes of outperforming market competitor PayPal.
A lot of people may not know. What does Braintree exactly do?
We help online businesses accept credit card payments.
Braintree listed on the 500 fastest growing companies of 2012.
Big news in the tech space this morning
as entrepreneur Bryan Johnson
sells his company Braintree Venmo for $800 million.
It was a life-altering moment, but reality-changing because in tandem, I left my lifelong religion, ended a 13-year marriage, and started to emerge from a decade of deep chronic depression. And so still doing startup and the babies and being depressed and being overweight. So it was just like an absolutely brutal decade of being in my 20s.
Do you remember anything about Bryan in those final years before he sold the company?
My mind was pretty uncaring towards me. On auto repeat in my mind was I should end my life. That the best idea was to commit suicide because I would never feel happiness or hope again. The living was pointless and everything was awful. And my mind was just on this closed loop pattern of saying that all the time.
I really wish that I could have done something that would have lifted that burden.
How do you feel when you think of him in that time?
I couldn't remember feeling that he had those thoughts. So he, in addition to dealing with the chronic depression, startups, tension with the partner, he also managed to be a dad who didn't showcase his struggles in that way. He did a good job at doing that.
You've had a lot of different careers now.
Yeah.
What's the future hold for you?
By age 30, I had mastered the basics. And so for the first time in my life, I had achieved independence. I was able to say, right, with that behind me, now what games can I play in life? I love the Margaret Thatcher quote where she says it used to be about doing something. Now it's about being someone. All right, let me show you why it's a don't die house.
Okay. What time do you wake up?
About 5.
So 5 a.m. you wake up in this room, your bedroom.
Welcome. This is where a world record was achieved for 8 months of perfect sleep. 100%, yeah, every single night for 8 months.
A lot of people would take this as an insult, but this is the most boring bedroom I've ever seen in my life.
That makes me so happy.
No, it is. It's by far and away the most unstimulating room I've ever seen in my life, and that's intentional, I'm guessing.
That's right. This room is only for sleep. That bed is only for sleep. It's not to work in or to hang out.
Hanky-panky?
Hanky-panky can happen.
Okay.
Yeah, but but it needs an exception.
Is that an air purifier as well?
It is.
What's this?
For white noise.
CO2 levels in here, does it matter?
I keep track of them very closely, but I'm never in a dangerous zone. So if I ever wake up in the night, which is rare, I'll use this device and I put it on my vagus nerve right here and it just vibrates. It is meant to create a parasympathetic activity so you can wind down, soften down, and then go back to sleep.
Interesting. And when's your erection tool? There was
this guy right here. But you broke my last one. When I gave it to you,
No, I didn't. Well, no, I did.
You broke it.
I did, yeah.
This is the erection device.
A little bit too small.
Yeah. So I'm not going to give it to you this time. This is.
No, I wouldn't take it. Don't worry.
Yeah, erections of the length of the Titanic movie.
Really? That's how big yours is?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
So
you said your erection's the length of the Titanic?
The duration of the movie Titanic. So basically you could watch the entire movie Titanic and I would be erect the entire time.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. If you're having nighttime boners at the same duration of Titanic, life is going to be pretty good.
And that correlates to health.
Yes. A healthy nighttime boner routine would be you want roughly 5 boners, and then each one to be above roughly 90% in efficacy, because you want a certain hardness, like a certain level of erection.
And so simply you put it on your penis when you fall asleep. It measures how many times it kind of expands throughout the night, and then you get a reading in the morning on your phone.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. We'll link it below.
Yeah.
It looks like there's somebody under.
I know it does. That's the pillow I use to put in between my legs. So I sleep on my side.
Yeah.
We tried to answer the question, is it better to sleep on your back, your left side, your right side, or your stomach? And so I assumed those positions, and then we used my ultrasound machine and we measured blood flow to and from my brain. So my left side, I had the best blood flow to and from the brain.
So the mattress?
It's the latest 8-sleep bed, so the version 4. And then I have some grounding sheets. There was some evidence that it helps on glutathione production.
What's a grounding sheet?
It's just plugged into the outlet, the ground.
One of the things I saw in Brian's bedroom that I think I'm going to steal, because so many of my guests on my podcast that specialize in sleep have said similar things, is just how unstimulating his bedroom was. You want your bedroom to be an environment that your brain learns is just for one thing. Not being on your phone, not sending emails, none of those things. Not watching TV, just for sleep. And this relationship between an environment and your psychology, I think, is really compelling. You program your psychology to understand that this room means this. So when you walk into that room, if your psychology is programmed, then your body will shift to a state of, in this case, sleep.
This is why I think I have potentially the best biomarkers in the whole world. When you look at like down the list of the things I have, because we've taken this to every degree. We're trying to show, what does a don't die life look like?
For people who would hear don't die and see the protocols you do and think that it sounds very alike to don't live, what would you say?
Don't die is a new idea about reality. And what people are saying is, I reject your new idea of reality and I'm going to replace it with the old idea of reality. And my understanding of reality is we're going to die anyways, like we're all gonna die. Therefore, if we're gonna die, I might as well participate in debaucherous behavior. I might as well drink, I might as well smoke. So smoking 2 cigarettes costs you 30 minutes of life. Now, if you're someone who likes smoking, your response is probably going to be, so what? I'm choosing to smoke. Like, that's my prerogative. Humans have always died. And so when death is inevitable, you choose all these different paths. But humans have never had the chance to actually not die. That's never been an option that humans have looked at. And I wanted to say, can we figure out a new life path that allows someone to not die? And if that's true, then none of these other paths hold anymore.
Okay, so I spent every single day around him for like 3 years. Until I did the protocol, I didn't understand the depths of what he does every single day himself. At any given time, he's testing 20 different new therapies. And so every day is a little bit different, but he'll wake up around 4:30, 5 a.m. naturally without an alarm. He'll start doing his morning routine, oral care, hair care, skin care. He'll do his therapies, so he'll do electromagnetic frequency on his abs. He'll do red light therapy upstairs. He'll work out for an hour, which is a protocol that's dedicated toward longevity. So it's not about being super muscular and looking super fit. It's really about how can I exercise every single muscle so that it continues to operate in its best, 30 years from now. And then he'll come downstairs, he'll do his morning pills, his morning drink. It's 100 things back to back that he just does every single day. And in amongst that, he's also looping in all the new protocols to try. It's endless things every single day, on top of his regular full-time work.
Do you want to see the bathroom?
I'm really intrigued to see the bathroom.
It's a war zone in here.
It's okay.
This is a history of everything we've tried and failed. Basically, no cream has really made a difference in skin quality.
So what do you have to do to have good skin?
Recently, we've been doing a service called Tixel. It uses a titanium tip and it hits the skin at 300 degrees Fahrenheit. It helps produce collagen and elastin. The other one is Soft Wave, which they use ultrasound to heat up the skin 1.5 millimeters below the skin surface to rebuild collagen.
Am I right in thinking a lot of this is about nutrition as well?
A lot, yeah. I mean, your body is making everything based upon what you need, what you eat.
And stress and...
I wake up before the sun comes up, and so that mimics sunlight. And that helps set the circadian rhythm. It also increases mood. I do this every day.
And that's what, 10,000 lumes or whatever?
Exactly, 10,000 lux.
And the sun is about 100,000. I've been hanging around with Andrew Huberman, he told me that. So I'm trying to sound smart.
I actually have a lux meter that I carry around. Super nerdy.
Look at that, 10,000 lux. 10,000 lux. That's how bright is that? It's super bright, and we're not even in the sunlight.
So what is it if I was looking directly at the sun?
Oh, probably 100,000 lux.
Oh, really?
Easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve, do you have one of these?
What is that?
Oh yeah, that's a nice note someone left me.
Did you leave it for yourself? Is this the same woman that you had the hanky-panky with? Is she still here?
That's her.
Yeah, and that's her hiding under her. The media painted Bryan Johnson out to be this sort of wacky, narcissistic billionaire. And I remember when he walked in to do the podcast conversation with me and someone in my team turned to me and said, "What do you think of him?" And I'll always remember my response because it's so important, and I think there's a lesson in it for me as a podcast interviewer, but for all of us, which is, I said to my colleague, I said, "I don't know yet."
Yeah, welcome in.
Hey, what's up? How you doing? Good to meet you.
Welcome in.
Hey, what's up? How are you?
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hi, Brian. How are you?
How's it going?
Yeah, good. Thank you for being here.
Nice to see you.
Really appreciate you coming here and giving us your time.
If the podcast has taught me anything, it's that you should never judge a book by its cover. And by, I think, giving Bryan a fair opportunity to speak and explain himself and genuinely be somewhat judgment-free in the conversation, I learned that Bryan is a complex character, but his intentions are very, very real and they're very selfless.
No, I think I approach these conversations that I can learn something from everybody.
Yeah.
And like resisting that judgment. I think it's so important, and I think it's what you deserve. Actually, I think when you said you're not understood, you're all about misunderstood stuff. I think this is what you deserve. A medium where you can be understood.
Yeah. So in confidence, Kate is Blueprint XX. So the most common question we got was, okay, we've seen a male's body, but we need a female's body to do this. So Kate is nearly done with her first 30 days. And so we'll release a video in a couple weeks of her first 30 days.
Interesting. Super interesting. So how did you guys come to meet?
Yeah. I'm Kate Tolo, and I was the first female to implement Bryan Johnson's full anti-aging protocol in perfection. Winding back, I had moved to the United States back in 2016. I was looking for a moonshot that I could attach myself to. And it was right around the time that AI was first hitting the zeitgeist. And I felt like the only way we were going to survive as a species is if we merged with AI. One day I was sitting in a cafe and I get a message from Singularity University with a quote from Bryan that said something about merging with AI. And I thought, that's the guy I want to spend my time with. It's not about AI versus humans. Rather, it's about creating HI, human intelligence, the merger of humans and AI. Bryan Johnson, Colonel. And then once I finally did meet him years and years later, finally got that job at Colonel so I could work together. It was like instantaneous, let's do this.
I'll be eating the same food every day. 1,700 calories of Bryan's Blueprint food. I'll be having over 60 pills every day.
I'm gonna be needing to manage all of my regular life, my work, my friends, my family, in conjunction with adopting this new lifestyle.
It's honestly mind-blowing how much has changed in just 30 days. We solved all 6 vitamin and mineral deficiencies. We significantly reduced inflammation in the body. I'm now in the top 7% of fitness. My body fat percentage dropped by 4%. My muscle mass increased by 6 pounds. My sleep dramatically improved. I achieved an average of 40 minutes more deep sleep each night. Incredible results across the board. I'm blown away. I didn't think my body could change so much in just 30 days.
So every second of every day, he's thinking about the future of humanity. It's always, how are we going to evolutionarily step into the next stage as a species? But beneath that, there's this other person that really is just the manifestation of like how he grew up and, you know, his Mormon faith and like the beautiful childlike spirit within him that just wants to be out with people and hang out and just have a good time.
So I know what these are because I've got some of these in my house. It's infrared, right? And red light therapy.
Yeah. I do 12 minutes 3 times per week.
Okay, 3 times a week. Okay. What do you believe it's doing in terms of positive results?
Mood, repair, mitochondrial health.
Mitochondria, okay, so on all the cells of your body, it's helping them to function better and speeding them up, okay.
Most of this is about measurement. Like that device there is a multi-spectral imaging, so it shows you the aging on your face. It's like an x-ray. And this is how I got my 13-year-old to wear sunscreen. She was like, Dad, leave me alone. I showed her the damage from the sun. She was terrified.
And you can see that at 13?
Yeah.
Jesus. And what is this thing here?
Electromagnetic. So this is for stimulation. You can put this on your abdomen and it gives you the equivalent of 20,000 sit-ups in 20 minutes.
There's no way.
Yeah. You want to try it?
Can I get the results?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
People talk about equality in life. This is the privilege of being rich. You can just lay on your back and get abs.
This is the emergency, I need to turn it off button.
Why is there an emergency button if I'm safe?
Yeah, it's like a safe word.
And why is there an emergency button? If I'm perfectly safe, why is there an emergency button?
Just in case.
Nothing without risk has an emergency button.
So I'll start low and you tell me if you're okay.
Yeah.
And then we'll go higher.
So in 20 minutes I'm gonna have abs.
Basically.
Yeah. Oh, what strength is that? Is that?
It's about 25%.
That's fine. Fine. It does feel like you're being tasered.
That's about 75%.
Let's go to 80.
That's 80%. How you doing?
Great.
Yeah. All right, here we go, 90.
I'm gonna look so good after this.
So good.
Let's go to 100.
Oh my God.
Crank it up.
Yeah, you got the button right there. You can eject any moment.
Oh, so how much does that cost, that machine? Asking for a friend.
This is a knockoff, so we just paid $7,000 for this. The one
and it works?
Yeah.
How do you know it works?
My abdominal strength.
Oh my God, I've got an 8-pack.
Yeah, but like you can feel, right?
AI. AI that?
And then you can do this for any body part. So this can go on your hamstrings, your quads, your biceps. This is actually how the Erections thing came about. Men use this for building bladder strength. And so I was doing a therapy for my lungs after COVID. And I thought I might as well sit on this and do a therapy while I'm doing this. So I sat right here and I did it for 30 minutes and I started having all these nighttime erections. I'm like, what is happening? It was this guy causing erections. And that then led to all of our research and then led to the device. So it was this guy who started the whole process.
And if I sit on this, what happens?
It
vibrates. It's going to give me an erection.
It's a delayed reaction.
So I'll get an erection in a couple of hours.
Yeah, basically tonight.
Oh my God, it's a tasering my bum. Oh my God. Oh, it feels good. Can you guys leave?
I try to lean back a little bit.
It's so subtle that it's hard to see how it would do anything.
Did you find the right spot?
Yeah.
It could be your pants as well.
And I guess I'm never really exercising those muscles.
That's a professional hearing grade system. Have you ever tested your hearing?
No, I'm concerned because I listen to very loud music.
Yeah, so this will invite you to change your acceptable levels of decibels on your AirPods to like 70 to 80 decibels, no more.
Why?
Hearing damage happens above it. I was at a concert on Saturday. The decibels were 120. I had earplugs in, and they're rated to 33. So we went back from the stage until we found about 100 decibels, and then I put the earplugs in, and it was like 70.
Defeats the point of a concert.
I know. I went to this concert, and I had a great time. Was with great friends. The music was wonderful. Then the next day I was wrecked. My sleep was awful. I felt awful. My HRV was down, and I wrote about it. And I was like, just so you know what our cultural norms do to our health.
But the life is worth living debate comes in here, doesn't it? It's like, okay, well, I smashed my HRV and I ruined my biomarkers, but I had a great time. And life is about memories.
Implicit in all of that is we're saying we're going to die, therefore, YOLO.
We've always believed that death is inevitable.
Yes.
So in the context of a life where death is no longer an inevitability, then we should change our behaviors. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
So until there's time when someone tells me that death isn't inevitable, I'm going to YOLO. The probability suggests that me and you are both going to die.
No, the probabilities do not suggest that. If you look at artificial intelligence and you look at how fast it's progressing, what we thought we could predict we no longer can. So as a species, we went from being able to model out our entire lives to not knowing what's going to come in a year's time.
I actually have no problem with dying. I think death is important because I think the thing that makes everything in life so special is the fact that we're on a clock, and all the decisions I make come at the consequence of a decision that I wasn't able to make because life is finite. So I think death is important. I think scarcity is important. The minute you realize something's in short supply, you value it more. That's one of the principles of making something be perceived as valuable in marketing, called scarcity. And knowing that I might live for 100 years if I'm lucky is what makes every year so special to me. But Bryan has a different approach.
With being so obsessed with living in the future, how do you stay present?
The present blinds you to the future. You live in a society, we live amongst each other. Most of the things we believe and think and say are just commonalities we all share. They're not necessarily truths, they're just this moment. So in any given moment, it's not that we're acting out truth, it's just we're acting out what society has emerged. So I'm always trying to find how I'm behaving in ways that are typical to 2024 and how I might try to overcome those and think about the future and how the future might behave.
You're constructing your life there based on a unknown, in the same way that the person that goes to the concert and just blasts their eardrums out is also conducting their life based on an unknown. You're both, because you're saying, we don't know if we're going to live or die. And then the other person's is also saying, listen, I also don't know if I'm going to live or die, but the best available evidence they have is that they're probably going to die. Because there's not been one instance of one person surviving death. And the minute there was one instance of one person surviving death for more than 120 years, whatever it is, then I think everything changes. I think then people play a different game. But you don't want to be the first, but I mean, you are effectively trying to be the first person, right?
Yes, exactly.
And then if you get to 150, you know, I think a lot of people are going to change their behavior. But if you get to 90, then I'm going to delete this video. I'm going to ask for a refund. You're going to apologize, or your kids are going to apologize for putting me through that ab thing.
And for missing out on. Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, cool. And this big contraption here, what's this one?
Ultrasound.
Okay, that's just to check what's going on inside. And how much did that cost?
Probably 40,000.
Jesus.
So we really have tried to say, like, we live in a world of storytelling and antidotes. But when you actually measure these things, it tells a very different story.
Mormonism has the story it has is very appealing, but that doesn't feel like enough. Like, they're not actually doing anything to do that. So now it's like, well, what can we do? And you think blueprint, like, let's actually take actionable items to make this happen. Don't die. Let's see if it's possible to do that. So it's really just the same story Mormonism is promising, but trying to practically do it instead of leaving it up to storytelling.
Talmage, one second. Talmage and I.
Say his name.
That's cool. I can do my thing. You can do your thing. No, we'll be good. Talmage and I have a date for his birthday.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. We're going to be a couple of minutes. Is that okay?
Yeah.
It's all good.
So I'll meet you at the theater.
Yeah. I'll go there.
You'll do the run.
Yep. I also put sticky notes about earplugs.
Oh, thank you. He's so good. Because the theaters are going to exceed 70 decibels. So I wear earplugs, yeah. Talmage? Thanks, man.
I always think you can tell a lot about a person by meeting their children and seeing what their children are like, and Bryan's son is incredible.
Your birthday's today?
Not today, but I'm going to be out of town for my birthday, so we're celebrating it today.
Okay. How old are you going to be?
19.
19, okay. Oh, wow. Young.
I know.
Jealous. Cover your ears, you're 19.
There was a gradual build-up over the years. Once my dad left, there was this, he was other, because if the idea is like, if you leave the faith, then Satan has control of you and you're on the wrong path and you're the Gentile pretty much. And so for a while I didn't trust him, and I thought he was just this misguided person who made the wrong decision. And then slowly it got to the point where I saw his value as a person that I didn't see for years. And I was like, I have to live with you. Like, I have to. I can't not. I pretty much at one point just packed my bags up and like, I'm gone.
Do you have a lot of stuff in common, you two?
We're best friends. We do everything together.
That's success in its own right, because that's difficult. That's what the only dream I have when I have kids is that they don't mind hanging out with me, and they're like, you know what I mean? Because in all honesty, I'm not that close to my parents in that way. I don't hang out with them. I like them, I respect them, I love them, but to form like that bridge of interests, it's hard and it's rare. You've really lent into everything that he does and understand it is incredible. It's beautiful.
I think for a lot of the years leading up to me leaving Mormonism, besides my dad, I don't feel like I had anyone who understood me. And so when I moved out, I finally saw the full extent of what he was doing. And so he would constantly be having doctors over. There'd be so many mornings where I'd finish working out and he'd be sitting over there eating his one meal a day. And I was like, that's Dad. For so many years, I wasn't the son that he deserved. And so I felt like it was finally my opportunity to give back to him for everything he did.
Oh, yeah, that. 98, 97, 90. Oh, yay!
Oh, that's a beautiful thing. Yeah. Congrats.
Thank you.
You've done a good job.
Thank you. Yeah. He's a good one.
It's amazing.
Likewise.
Do you guys want a hug now?
We like to do there's like a picture of like the two guys with
the meme.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'll see you there, Talmadge.
Enjoy the movie. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Is this what you eat in a day?
Yes.
So what meal would this be?
This would be the second meal of the day. It's macadamia nuts, walnuts, flaxseed, berries, pomegranate juice, and then I would put extra virgin olive oil. This is pure cocoa. And then I'll take these pills with breakfast, these pills with my last meal of the day at 11 a.m. This is a drink I have in the morning.
What is that drink?
So I was taking about 100 pills a day. So basically this takes 20 capsules and put it into a drink. Yeah, if you want to try it, it's really enjoyable.
Okay.
Yeah, just be mindful. It has a lot of energy promoting ingredients.
It actually tastes good. There's no bad taste in that. It has a slight berry taste, that's it. Yeah, I mean, I could drink that.
This is what my breakfast for tomorrow looks like. Beans, tomatoes, peppers.
No meat?
No meat. I'm a vegan.
Why?
It's the only part of my entire protocol that is ethics-based.
Okay. If I should just get going with some pills, I probably won't be able to take all of these because it's a lot. Are there a couple that are really, really important that most people are deficient in?
Yeah. So with the Blueprint stack, it's just 8 pills.
And what are those 8 pills?
So it's these guys. So you've got all these basic things. So it's like a longevity multivitamin. And that's the drink you just had.
Ah, that is, okay.
Yeah.
If I said to you, Brian, you've only got to have one of these products. The house is burning down, you can only grab one and you've got to survive on it for the next 10 years.
I'll take longevity mix.
This one here?
Yeah.
Why?
It's fun, it tastes great, it's got really core things for health and wellness. We just got some data. 26% of people reported a decline in severe depression to mild symptoms.
Drinking the longevity mix?
On the stack. Yeah, there was significant improvements in depression, in anxiety, musculoskeletal health, sleep, energy. Like it was like across the board. I've never seen anything perform that well.
I'm gonna steal some on my, look over there.
What is it? I was like, what's going on? So I'm happy to give, do you want some?
100%.
Yeah.
Watch me try and cross the border.
Yeah.
They look at me, they're suspicious already, but now you've really given them cause for investigation. Mr. Bartlett, we found lots of white powder in your suitcase. But no, Bryan Johnson told me that it would extend my nighttime erections.
I'll take care of it. This is a fun one. Like, have you ever measured your grip strength?
No, but I've heard that grip strength is really important.
Squeeze as hard as you can and get the biggest number you can. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Yeah! Don't hold back. Let's see.
Yeah.
That's great, 144.
You ever seen anything like that?
No. That's actually, so you're in the top percentile for your age. You're 31?
Say that again.
Yeah. Top percentile for his age. Like, legit, don't mess with Steven.
So let's take a look at some of these other guys. Yeah. What's yours? Let's do your grip strength.
Okay, let's do mine. Come on. 138. Yeah, you beat me.
Oh,
yeah, good job.
It's not trying, it's taking part that counts. Taking part that counts.
I'll do it with.
Oh, this is not going to be good for your personal brand. 99.6. What's it, 140?
144, 130.
144 to beat. Go on. Okay. Oh, here we go, lads. Like this. 22 years old, should fly past that. 160, 170.
Hard you can.
100.
Good job.
Wow. What? How am I so strong? That's crazy.
Look at you.
Do you want my protocol? Okay, I'm going to try again. So.
Yeah, I want to try again.
He's made it wet. 149. 149.
Even better.
World record. I can get 150.
Yeah. Damn.
149.
100. Ah, that's an improvement.
If my grip strength is below 105, I'm going to die. Is what you said.
Pretty closely.
So if you are below 105, you are going to die.
Yeah. So if you, with the, you're at risk of dying.
But there is correlation between a bunch of things in grip strength.
Yes.
I think it was Andy Galpin, wasn't it, on the show?
You can't not pay attention to grip strength. And in fact, we can actually predict Alzheimer's and dementia risk via grip strength testing.
Thank you for inviting me into your home. It's been a privilege.
I'm glad you came by. It was fun.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'll see you again soon. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Grab my stuff and go.
Be safe out there, you guys. Don't get injured in that.
I'm going to try. I'm going to get in the car and say my affirmation now and then drive very safely home. What was the affirmation again? Okay. Guys, listen, this episode's done now, but I've got a favour to ask you, okay? 68% of you watch this stuff, but you don't subscribe. So if you could do me a favour, and if you could subscribe, that would be really appreciated, because we're trying to get our subscribers up. And there's a lot of you that just watch this stuff, and you're ghosts, you're lurkers, and I don't like lurkers. So if you could just hit the subscribe button, that'd be really appreciated. Bigger the channel gets, the more we're going to invest in making these videos for you. Okay, I'll make a deal. However much this channel grows, in the next 7 days, I will give Will. I'll give Will in British in dollars.
Oh, that's
okay. So that's a deal. However much the channel grows in the next 7 days in terms of subscribers, that's how much I'll give Will in dollars. But he can't go on any bot farms or anything. So it has to be real subscribers. I'll check every single one of them.